Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Marathon QuickStops Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything inside of Burley Stadium with the Greeneville Greene Devils. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Eddie Spradlen. Coach, how we doing this evening?
Doing good. Doing real good.
It's fall break, but it's still a little warm outside. It's not quite fall yet.
No,
Technically it is, but it doesn't feel like it.
I believe last year in the fall break we had on toboggans and big jackets, but it's a little different for sure.
Sun's still out. It still feels good, just a little warm at the moment, but I know you felt good on Friday night walking out of Blountville with a win over Sullivan East. 73-8 was the final of that game. Big Region 1 4A victory. Let's just jump right into it. Tell me how good of a win it was.
You know, it was a really big win for our football team, especially all that we went through last week. And, you know, first off, I want to give a big shout out to Jeff County High School for allowing us to go down there. We went down there 3 days last week and practiced. We were able to use their one of their visitor locker rooms that had showers. So all our players were able to shower. They fed us every day after practice. One day we ate Texas Roadhouse. We ate Ruby Tuesdays. And then our normal Thursday meal that we did, their pastas was made by their school culinary arts program. So really big week. You know, it's a long week having to get on the bus. You know, they had to be here at 7:30 in the morning, get on a bus at 7:45, take about a 50-minute drive, then practice and get back on there. We were able to lift down there in their weight room, so that was big as well. So long week, but really excited how our guys came out and played hard on Friday. You know, you got to come out there and play to level your competition, or come out there and, you know, kind of hung over for not playing in like 14 or 15 days and going through all that we went through the past 2 weeks. But really proud of their effort coming out there and playing the way they did.
That was what I was going to jump into next, is there was no field rust on Friday night. You jumped right onto the field 11 seconds into the game. You got a touchdown, and you never looked back after that. Carson Quillen, I think, scored that first touchdown on the first play from scrimmage, and it was all Greene Devils from there. So talk about how happy you were that you were able to jump on them that quick and then continue dominating all the way out until the clock hit triple zeros in the fourth.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that was our worry, how we're going to, you know, handle all that we went through. And, that, you know, we've not played in like 2 weeks. So, you know, we really pushed them really hard during the week at practice. Came out there, you know, the first play, we motioned Carson out to the edge and throw it to Zayden. Carson hammers a corner into the fence about, and then Cole Smith made a great block out there on the edge, and Zayden Anderson was, you know, was able to take it for probably about 50 yards for a touchdown to start the game off. I think one stat at one point we had 11 plays with our first team offense and 7 touchdowns. So, you know, a bunch of one-play drives, and just proud of how hard those kids were playing. We're getting the ball in those playmakers' hands, and they're making plays. And hats off to that offensive line, did a really good job.
Absolutely. That's what I like to mention every week, too, is whenever you score that many points, it means your offense is protected well. Whenever you're able to have, I think, 445 total yards of offense. Caden Ball was 4-4 passing with 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. Carson Quillen, 7 rushes, 189 yards, 4 touchdowns. You can't do that without a good O-line.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Carson ran it really well, but, you know, he didn't have to make many guys miss. He had a really good holes open up just because of the push that the offensive line was getting.
Great quarterback play also. I talked about how Caden was 4-4 passing with 100 yards and 3 touchdowns, but you got Kane Rickerson valuable playing time towards the end of the game too. He was 3 of 4 passing, had 44 yards, and on his feet he had 3 rushes for 52 yards and a rushing touchdown. How happy were you with the quarterback play whenever you were able to have Caden out there in the first half, and in the second half kind of put Kane in there to get some valuable playing time in a region game?
Yeah, it was good to get him. You know, Kane's playing some receiver for us, playing a lot of special teams. So, you know, he rotates in with that first group at receiver just because, you know, he's a kid that we're not going to play on JV. He's a Friday night player, so he's been playing a lot of receiver. You know, he was able to finish that first half off with that last series. We were able to drive down there and get a field goal at the end of the half. He did a good job managing the clock right there. And but, you know, Caden did a good job. We didn't let Caden, you know, he got banged up a little a couple of weeks ago against Morristown West. We've kind of held him out a lot of running stuff that, you know, we're just letting the running backs get all the carries, and, you know, him being smart, throwing the football, continue to get better at that. And we did a good job throwing it. But, like you said, we were able to get, 3 quarterbacks played, got a lot of good reps. Parker Quillen came in there and finished the game out for us at quarterback as well.
Those 3 touchdowns, 2 of them went to Zayden Anderson. Another efficient night, 2 receptions, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns. Every time he touched the ball, he was in the end zone. And then the other one went to Jariah Griffin. He had 1 reception, 25 yards, and a touchdown. So Zayden, his name's been a catalyst on this show for, I think, every single week now, where we talk about how he gets the football, and he's electric and almost touches the end zone every single time. And then Jariah Griffin, a new name I don't think we've mentioned so far.
Yeah, Jariah's a kid, we talked about, had transferred in here at the first of the year, and continues to get better. A kid that's really playing hard for us, and a new opportunity for him here. So he's making the most of it. He touched the football the other night and was able to get in the end zone. Zayden touches it, twice, 2 touchdowns. Dry touches it, touchdown. And Carson had, I think, 4 touchdowns, and probably 3 of those were single play drives that he had long runs on. So, it was a really good night offensively against Sullivan East for sure.
Another player too, Dion Phipps, he came in there at the end, 2 rushes, 23 yards, and a touchdown. And then you mentioned that Sam went in there and kicked a field goal, Sam Gorley with a 21-yard field goal. I think that caps off all of the scoring. The defense, incredible night on defense, only allowing them to 159 total yards. You had Jackson Nichols get a fumble recovery touchdown also. Talk about how happy you were with the defense only allowing 8 points and less than 200 yards once again.
Yeah, I'd love to see what the halftime stats were. I looked at them, I can't even remember what it was. I know at one point their rushing yards were like a minus 50 rushing yard, but we had we knew they were going to come in and they're going to throw it every down. So we played I think we talked about it last week that we were going to play a 3 front against them, and able to get another skill guy on the field and play more man coverage than we've probably played, send a little more pressure than we're sending. But they're going to sit there and throw the ball quick, and you got to get them different looks. Really good offensive scheme. They got I don't know if you've seen where they did Hal Mummy is helping out with them some in an advisory role. He was on the sideline with them on Friday night, so that was pretty cool. But they got a really good scheme offensively. They've got a quarterback that throws it really good, and one really good receiver that was able to make some good plays against us. But we were able to, get a lot of pressure on that quarterback. We were able to, beat him up pretty good. And then we were able to, I think we ended up getting 3 interceptions the other night and a fumble, scoop and score. So overall, really proud of how hard we played defensively.
And the most important thing, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, being a win. It's a Region 1 4A win, most importantly. Sure. So jumping up to 2-0 in those standings now is probably the most important thing that you were happy about.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime you can get a region win is big for this program. Like we said, we want to be Region 1 4A champs, and you got to do that. You got to win each game you play each week.
And you've got the opportunity to do that this Thursday night also. Happy leaving the field on Friday night with a win over Sullivan East. Hopefully be happy whenever we sit down and talk next time too, but we need to preview that Grainger game first. We'll be right back here in just a second after a few words from our sponsors, so stay with us and we'll preview that Grainger game real quick here on Grassroots Media.
For more than 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has served customers in East Tennessee with licensed and professional plumbing services. From installing your new faucet to replacing your existing piping system, our team at Tommy's Plumbing is trained to handle the job with professionalism, attention to detail, and integrity. By offering warranties on most products installed by our technicians, Tommy's Plumbing stands behind our work, ensuring that your plumbing needs are not only met, but that your problem is solved for the long term. When you need reliable and professional plumbing service, Tommy's is the only call to make. So give us a call today and let us show you the Tommy's difference. At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories, And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pawn is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pawn help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greeneville, Tennessee.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greeneville.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Marathon QuickStops Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything inside of Burley Stadium with the Greeneville Greene Devils. As always, I'm joined here with head football coach Eddie Spradlen. So we sat down in this first half, and we were happy about a Region 1 4A win over Sullivan East. Hoping to sit down next week and be happy with another Region 1 4A win over Grainger. You've got the Grizzlies this week. You travel up to Rutledge to play them. So talk about what you expect on a special Thursday night game this week.
Yeah, it's fall break for us, so, that's always interesting, dealing with, everybody's got so much free time and they're off their schedule. So, we're going to practice 3 days this week and get after it on Friday or Thursday for sure. But excited about the opportunity to get another region win. We got a good Grainger team that's going. They're going to try to formation you to death, just to put more people on one side than you're ready for, and just run it right at you. So we got to be able to stop the run. Totally different game plan than we had last week. You come in last week against Sullivan East, they're going to throw it every time, and Grainger probably going to come in and try to run it every time. Just big guys up front, big running backs, quarterback that can run, so it'll be a good challenge for us.
And, of course, with it being Thursday night, too, how does that kind of handicap your schedule a little bit? How do you kind of schedule around that, especially with it being such a weird week on fall break?
Yeah, a lot of times on Thursday night games, we'll bring them in on Sunday night. But, we had a long week last week. I just felt like for this our team where we're at right now, it'd be best to give them, an extra day to rest. And so we're going to come in on today and do a kind of normal Monday practice, really work hard in the weight room, conditioning really hard, gets a lot of position work, and then tomorrow we'll get after it good, and then we'll have our pregame stuff, a little more in depth probably pregame on Wednesday, but we'll get a couple good practices in and be ready to go on Thursday night.
I know you mentioned that their offense is totally different than Sullivan East offense. You were prepared for more of an air raid pass heavy offense last week with Sullivan East. This week you expect Grainger to just pound it and pound it every single play. So how do you strategize against that?
Obviously, hopefully that's what, really fits us good. We want to stop the run. We got big guys up front that can help it. If we're going to be successful down the road, we got to be able to stop that run. So it'll be a good opportunity for us to work some different things that we need to. And one big key is you got to be able to, defensive guys got to be able to recognize the different formations, because they're going to put four on one side at times. They're going to play with the tight end in a wing and different things like that if you're not prepared for, it gets you out of a mix for sure. And, they'll be unbalanced and be able to get some good yardage just because they're going to outnumber you with blockers. So be a good challenge for us, but just making sure we get lined up right all the time. Excited about that opportunity and be ready to go.
And we talk about the dynamic duo of Carson and Caden every single week, but this past week against Sullivan East, I think that showed that you have a few more dynamic weapons out there. Zayden Anderson has started to show himself as a really dynamic player on offense, where about every time he touches the ball, he ends up in the end zone. Jeriah Griffin showed last week that he's somebody that you need to watch out for on the field also. How do you think they're going to scheme and game plan against your offense and trying to limit those explosive plays?
A lot of times people's trying to pound pile that box and getting as many run defenders in there, and then take their chances with, playing a lot of man coverage. So kind of expect that same thing. Get in there, try to get as many guys in the box as they can to stop that run, because we've been able to run the ball successful with Carson Quillen. But like you said, a lot of guys making big-time plays when they're touching the ball. Sounds like we need a little more footballs to go around.
It does.
They're not, like we said, we had 7 scores on 11 plays, and so those guys, nobody's touching the ball many times. I think on the night, Carson only ended up having 7 or 8 rushes, and, Dry touched it once. We got Zayden 2 touches, and Cole Franklin got a touch. Cole Smith got a touch. Trying to get as many guys involved as we can. Taryn Clarity got a touch. trying to get as many guys that we can involved. And all that said, Caden didn't even run the ball, so it's always fun trying to get everybody involved. But at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do to win the game. So whatever it comes down to on Friday or Thursday, if we is run the ball, throw the ball, whatever we got to do to be successful, we got to make. Our coaching staff does a great job. Make sure that we're in the best situation possible.
Absolutely. I know you just mentioned that whatever it takes to win the game. The last question I always ask you, each and every interview, you've got 3 keys to the game that you need to carry out in order to be successful and pick up a win. This Thursday night against Grainger, what are they?
This week's going to be easy. We got to stop the run first and foremost from them. We've got to be able to run the football. Continue for us to be successful. We got to run the ball. Like I said, we got to get more guys in the box to stop the run. Then that opens up our passing game even more. So we got to continue to be able to run the football. And I want to see us continue to get better on special teams. We took a step forward the past couple of weeks. We continue to get better. We're able to get an opportunity at the end of the half. We drove it down there, and some people say, why are you calling a timeout right before the half? You're up big. This is an opportunity for us to get some looks that you can't get in practice. It's live opportunities to get a field goal. We were able to get a 21-yard field goal with Sam. He's not been able to do many of those, so just more live action to get stuff like that is better for our football team down the road. So we've got to continue to improve on special teams.
Excited for another game this week. Hopefully excited to sit down and talk about another win next week. But unless there's anything else you'd like to add, I think that's all that I've got this week.
Hey, go Devils, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for sitting down with me once again in beautiful Burley Stadium. It's a nice warm day out here, but the sun's shining, not a single cloud in the sky, and you get to see the nice field wrap and press box behind us. But that's all we've got this week. Thank you for watching this week's edition of the Marathon Quick Stops Eddie Spradlen Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.